Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Monica and we are right here in my art studio. It only took me what feels like a lifetime and all of my brain capacity to clean a 7 by 8 foot space. But yes, we finally made it. We finally arrived to the promised land. I might start painting again. We'll get into that later. Right now, what I want to talk about, we're going to jump right into it, is why is everybody TMZ, right? Like why do we all have so much to say but so little to make? So I wanted to kind of make a video talking about creating that switch from consumption to creation and beyond like it feels weird and like who cares about gossip and all these like superficial reasons, but on some like this is your duty in this lifetime. Do not get distracted. People, we must stay focused. Like we can't do this. We can't keep doing this, right? I can't keep doing this. I'm turning over a new leaf. This is where we are at with it. Why is social media? Why is everybody such a hater? We're just gonna. I don't even have a script for this. I don't even have notes. I'm just speaking from the heart right now. Why is everybody such a hater? I feel like everybody's in their like real hater era. Like I feel like everybody has so much to say. I feel like everybody's like really uninspired, mean, spiteful, nitpicking, critical, looking to pinpoint what everybody is doing wrong. And you know what's happening? This is something that you have to really think about. I'm thinking about this constantly because I'm about to be 30 in a few months. I mention this every single episode because I'm like, this is the season finale of my 30s. I am in deep self-reflection of the last 10 years of my life. The concept of becoming like the mean relative that you have that was always nitpicking and critical and why are you doing this and why are you wearing that and na, right? That person wasn't born out the womb like that. That person probably doesn't even think they're doing anything wrong, right? And some of us are becoming those people online because we want to be the viral comment. This, I feel like, used to be a Twitter problem. We're going to parse all this out. I feel like I'm just talking a million miles a minute. I feel like this used to be a Twitter problem. I felt like people that had Twitter brain back in the day were the people that always thought in short quips, that, like, spoke in comebacks. Like, everything was like, like, oh, like, and I feel like now that's become even more prominent on the internet, specifically in TikTok, where everybody has like something like smart and witty and funny and sarcastic and like to say like about every single little thing you do, right? Like, and like that's cool and all, but it kind of puts you in this like self-defensive state, and it also puts you in this hypercritical state because you kind of want to anticipate what everybody's going to say about everything because everybody got something to say right now. The reason why I say why does everybody feel to act like TMZ right now, I want us all to remember, if you were alive during this era, a time where like celebrity gossip, for example, was reserved to the fucking people. Was reserved to the People magazine, going down the pharmacy aisle, and you would read the front page and it would be the silliest, craziest, random celebrity drama. She got pregnant with who? He cheated on her with what? She wore this to when? Like, and that was that. It was this sort of thing that you did, this short segment when you would watch daytime shows or the nighttime news, where it's just like, okay, it's time for the celebrity gossip specialists to give their like little 5-minute segment on all the tea. And it was always this like bubblegum kind of thing. It was never like seen as like this is like a thing, right? This is like really important work. And I do believe that gossip is very important. I'm a girl ultimately, but I'm also a really big believer in the importance of sharing information, especially if you're from marginalized backgrounds. So any background that could potentially be hurt by an outsider, I think it's very important for us to share gossip, share the tea. What did you hear about that person? Thank you for telling me. Now I'm safe. So gossip can potentially save lives. Gossip is how we understand social dynamics. Like, oh, you're telling me about this person that I know, but I'm learning this other information about them. Damn, maybe things are not what they seem, and I can now look at certain things I've done in my life in a different perspective. So there's nothing inherently wrong with gossip. I just don't understand why we all have gossip brain all the time, right? So to bring it back to, I feel like what the relationship with like celebrity gossip, for example, was before, it was this sort of like superficial thing that you would sort of consume. I feel like there were very few people, granted I wasn't sentient during this time, but I feel like it wasn't like Like, I feel like I wasn't going to school and hearing tea. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't like, oh my God, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. Like, of people we don't know. I feel like our parasocial sort of way of engaging with each other, and by parasocial, I mean these sort of one-sided relationships where it happens to me. I have parasocial relationships with consumers, with content creators that I love. But like these parasocial relationships that we have with celebrities and with other content creators and with just random people that we follow, like, have become super heightened because there's now no longer this sort of allure and mystique of other people. Other, like, celebrities and random content creators and random people are sharing their deepest, darkest, closest, like, secrets. I love being on random people's close friends. Please add me to your close friends. I want to know the tea. I want to know what's going on, right? Now this, like, illusion of, like, celebrity and, like, or this distance, like, it feels more like the rumors and the gossip that we hear, we now have even a greater ability to verify if they're true or not, because they're either posting it on their story. There's a lot more insiders, people that are around them that share this gossip and all that. And we all kind of have access to the internet and other people's theories and consume it on our way to work, on our phone, while we're cooking, just playing, letting TikTok run, whatever. It's just more, it's like a story time about someone that you don't know, and it's just fun to be in people's business, right? It's an exciting, really fun thing to participate in. I love me a good celebrity gossip moment. I love me a good story time. So this is not like a moral thing. This is not like you're bad if you like this stuff. Like, everybody likes this stuff to a certain extent. I think the problem, though, is that it's become kind of like the center of a lot of things. And you have to think a lot about the way in which a lot of these celebrity gossip people were treated back in the day. So when you think about people like Perez Hilton, I don't know anything about that man, but all I remember growing up is that these type of people were not like, oh my God, the coolest person has entered the room. They were like urchins. They were like social, like, whoa. Like, they were like, oh my God, this person is like ill. Like, look at this person that is like, you're a stalker. You're basically a stalker. Like, unfortunately, you're a stalker. You stalk celebrities. You talk about celebrities that you don't know and you share random information, right? And like, some people do it as cultural anthropology. They are doing it to kind of use these celebrities and the dynamics that they present to analyze them and talk about greater topics, greater cultural topics. Okay, maybe the reason why all these celebrities have suddenly lost weight say a lot about where we are at economically as a society. And we can now draw parallels between now and the 2008 recession. Love that. Would love to hear more about that. Could watch a 45-minute YouTube video essay about it. Yum, yum, yum. I'm here for it. But staying on top of every single little thing that goes on and seeing this as like a perfectly normal thing, we're living in delusion, babe. It's myth. This is mythology. We don't know what's going on. We don't know any of these people, right? And I don't have to be the one to, I'm not breaking the news to anybody. This isn't breaking news. I'm not popping anybody's bubble, right? People know that this is just gossip. But the reason why I bring this up is because I feel like when you're in that constant state, when you're like, oh, I can't believe Hailey Bieber is so obsessed with, but you guys don't understand. It's because you don't have a Hailey Bieber in your life. Like, a girl that's just obsessed with, girl, be obsessed with yourself. And that's what this video is about, right? So as somebody that's been chronically online for like as long as I could remember, I have loved living my life vicariously through the internet and through others. There was a really, really, really long time where I would use the internet how it was meant to be used, as a jump off point to create community in person. So you would make your stuff in your home or in wherever you were making your stuff. You would read your books, you would do your things, you would pop them out into the internet, whether you're writing a blog post, you're posting it on Instagram, you're posting it wherever. Certain people would comment that would relate to your niche interest. And through that, you create community that would hopefully, I'm a visual artist, that would hopefully manifest into something that happens outdoors. Now, things don't inherently need to happen outdoors for them to be valid. Right now, especially because of the economy, the internet is also my only third space. I cannot take a Uber downtown, babe. I don't have $100 like to do that commute, right? So I get it. But I guess I'm saying this to say that the internet was a means to an end. it wasn't the center of the world and it wasn't the center of my life. It was a way in which I made some of my closest friends, had some of my best relationships, and have made so much money in the sense of connections in terms of art shows. Like, it's literally sustained me so much, right? So I love the internet, but we have to remember that it is a tool, and ultimately our presence on this earth is more than just criticizing others. So something that I would always think about growing up, especially because I have been online so much and I have been the subject of a lot of criticism for being so public with a lot of just my thoughts, my existence. Essentially, people viewed me through a parasocial lens, just like I view other people through a parasocial lens. Like, something that I had to learn very quickly, and so I could stay solid in my mind and keep creating and really viewing myself as this artist that I wanted to be, was that I am not right just because I find other people's wrongs. This is very important for me as a Virgo with several Capricorns placements. I find everything's wrongs. It's so easy for me to exist in that state of hyper criticism. And the reason why I'm connecting all of these things is because when you constantly engage with like gossip culture, and not even celebrity gossip, but like coming at random TikTok influencers and building entire narratives and archetypes as to how they're bad people, or how they're not girls, or how they're not this, or how they're not that, or whatever, based off of 8 different videos that you saw. And like, I do it too. So it's not a judgment, right? But when you do all these things, I'm realizing, and I've done this at so many points in my life, because once again, I have been on the internet a very, very long time. I am chronically online. I use that sort of emotional roller coaster of reading funny things, of getting upset and outraged, of having relief. Oh, okay, everything worked out again. Like, all of these different like emotional things that I feel when I'm consuming this content. I use that to replace real human interaction. I use that to not contact the people that I care about, because at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I just heard 6 different story times. Do you think I have anything to say about my own life? No, I've been sitting on my phone, right? And this is not like a get off your phone kind of video, because everybody knows this at this point. We're all just severely addicted. This is not that kind of video. It's just to say, like, at a certain point, you have to decide for yourself what kind of life you want to live. And to bring it back to the you're not right just because you're pointing out people's wrongs, that was a big lesson for me, because you have to look at it from the perspective of you're taking. So when you criticize, you're like, wrong. You just took all of that out of this picture that's in front of you. What are you going to do with all that negative space? You're not a cleanup crew. What duty have you done? What service have you done? You made something really, really funny. You clapped back at somebody. You told them what they should be doing instead of that. You said you should try this hairstyle instead of this. You found the things that are wrong. You tried to make them right. What has changed? Nothing has changed. All you have is all of this negative space. And when you don't fill that negative space that's left over of all the things that you just nitpicked at, what happens? So one of my theories that I've been working on is that every single mean, hateful, like just evil person that has ever terrorized you growing up is somebody that is not a bad person, was actually never a bad person. It's just somebody that didn't fulfill their purpose. Now, when we talk about breaking generational cycles, when you're like, I don't want to be like my mom, I'm going to be different. How do you think that happens? Do you think that all of a sudden you're presented with the same set of circumstances that people before you were presented, and you are just so smart and self-aware enough that you're just going to make a different choice? Absolutely not. Something I've been contending with is the fact that I imagine myself as a mother in many, many years. Geriatric pregnancy crew, where you at? I'm not trying. A teenage mom at the age of 32, not me. But something that I think a lot about is just like, we criticize these parents that do all this screen time for their children. Oh my God, screen time. Why wouldn't you just hang out with your kid? Why are you just putting a iPad in front? I'm an iPad baby. And I have to really think about, yo, I can't, if I'm hanging out with my baby all day, I can't scroll. Because you know what's going to happen? You know what's so annoying? When you're hanging out with somebody and they're on their phone all day, you're going to be doing that to your baby. And then your baby is going to grow up one day and be like, yo, my mom was cool and all. She fulfilled all my needs, but I just was never really able to talk to her. Like, it just felt like I never really connected with her. Like, we were just always so distant from each other. You're going to be like, girl, I was always there. No, you weren't, babe. You were on your phone because you're on your phone right now, right? Like, so that's kind of like the way that I'm seeing it, right? Which is just like, you don't just suddenly become different because you want to be different. I will not just suddenly become the perfect idealized version of myself because I know better, because I'm good at noticing the things that I should and shouldn't be doing and other people should and shouldn't be doing, because I'm good at being like, I can't believe Blake Lively, because I'm good at hyper analyzing society, because I'm good at living in here, right? Because I'm good at nitpicking at other people, right? I promise you, if that was enough, babe, I would be CEO of YouTube. I would be a billionaire. Like, if that was enough. It's clearly not enough, right? Like, it's not. So what's the problem, right? Something I've been talking a lot about often is nervous system regulation, and how our collective deregulation was leading us to all just collectively rot. And I get it. The world, oh my God, it's collapsing. What are we going to do? Like, genuinely, what are we going to do? Like, please comment down below. What are we going to do? Like, I don't know what to do, right? But I know the only thing I can do, because I've done the opposite. I've done the hypercriticism analysis, didn't make me better. I've done the lay down and raw. I will not take any jobs. I will stand in solidarity with everybody right now. I will not be working. Didn't make it better. I've chosen now to just work on myself and think of tangible, actionable things in my real life outside of my phone of things I can do. These things sound easy. They sound like no duh. But if they were easy, we would all be doing them, right? So to bring it back to when you remove everything, when you hyper criticize everything, when you are left with all of this negative space, you have this void. And we all collectively have this void inside of us. And when we don't do anything about that void, and time keeps passing by, because no matter what you do, whether you sit down and you finally go work on that book you said you was going to work on, or whether you go and you finish that program you said you was going to go work on, or whether you go and you do whatever it is that you said you was going to do or not, or whether you just lay down and scroll for the next 5 years, that time will pass regardless. And here's the silly little fun thing that we all do as human beings. No one wants to feel like they're a bad person. Not a single person on this earth wants to feel like they're a bad person. So that's where we get into justifying. This void inside of me, it wasn't because of me. It's because of all the problems in the world. I'm so smart. I'm so smart that bad things happening to me couldn't be my problem. And this is not a bootstrap conversation. This is not like you got to work harder. That's the problem. But also, we do have to take into consideration my bias. I am an actual immigrant. I wasn't born in this country. I do have a tinge of bootstrapper in me. I cannot help it. But I will say that at some point for yourself, you have to choose to do something about it, right? Because when I bring it back to who is the most miserable, hating ass person, visualize them in your mind right now that has severely impacted you and changed the trajectory of your entire nervous system. You will become that person if you stay nitpicking. So how do we change this what feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy that we keep creating generationally, right? That's where we get into creation. So you have to look at whatever it is that's your purpose on this earth. It doesn't have to be some big thought out idea. I think a lot of people have these, depressive moments in their lives and these feelings of confusion and isolation because they're just like, I just don't have a passion, which is valid. I can make a whole other video about that. I don't know. Me being into art doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm so inspired. It's just the thing that I love. No, babe. I don't feel that way about anything on earth. It's just the thing that I stubbornly do. I hate the fact that I put myself in a position where I can't do anything else except this, and I have no work experience except being a barista, even though I have a college degree, but it's in art. That's my relationship to my passion. It's not like, oh, I paint and I feel it flow through me. It's like, I hate this. I hate the fact that I feel compelled to do this. Like, I can't not do it, right? So if you find that there's nothing in your life that you love, don't worry. I feel that way most of the time. I don't know what loving something is, but I've actually started to develop a different relationship, or I have just started understanding how to verbalize it more. So what I'm going to say is that whatever your purpose is on this earth, and it can change. It doesn't have to be a singular thing. It could just be a way of being. It could be like an actual activity. I am going to be a writer. I really love to cook. I am going to be a chef. Maybe I won't be a chef traditionally, but I love to cook for all of my loved ones. This is what makes me feel whole. Like whatever it is. Like it could literally be like, hey, look, I'm just born to be a great member of my community. I love hanging out with my friends. It is my passion. Like I love to leave work and I just feel fulfilled by being there with other people, being of service to them and uplifting everybody together and moving forward together. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a tangible thing. And I always emphasize that because I'm like, this is more than about art for me, right? So you have to find what is the purpose and what is the reason why you're choosing to do these things. And for me, it's to fill that void. So I can step out of this state of hypercriticality with no action, because it is so easy to watch your life waste away criticizing what everybody does wrong. Something that Bell Hooks says in the book Art on My Mind that I quote a lot is that I'm going to paraphrase, if you're interested in decolonizing, like in general, if you're interested in revolution in general, art has to extend beyond just propaganda. Art doesn't have to be this practical thing, meaning you don't have to be this hyper practical person in everything that you're doing to make change. The point of art and the reason why it is central to decolonizing is because it decolonizes the mind, because it allows you to imagine something different. When you're constantly criticizing what already is, you're not coming up with anything different. You're not creating. You're in a state of consumption and criticism. All you're left with is this void. You cannot leave this earth more hollowed out and empty and hurt than you came in. That is how you curse yourself, and that is how you become a very miserable person on this earth, right? So it's not to say you have to do some major grandiose thing, but it's to say we on this earth, humans are stewards of the earth. We are not parasites. We're not evil. You have to, especially now more than ever, with everything that's going on, and there is so much despair, and there are so many people rightfully losing their minds. You have to, now more than ever, believe within yourself and of the world and of humans that we are meant to be here, and our destiny is our capacity to change. Our will, like we are stewards of the earth. We can create forests where there's deserts. We can create rivers. We can literally create so much. And if all we do is sit and take and complain and criticize and say, why was she doing this? And why was she doing that? You're going to exasperate yourself. You're going to wake up one day middle-aged upset and a meanie pant, right? And if you do not want that to be your destiny, it's not easy. And it's, if you end up there, it's fine. You don't have to start. You can start today at 93, right? But it's just, you have to imagine something different. And when you're in this constant state of criticism, you're not imagining anything. You're just finding problems. You're that. That's all you're doing. You have to, okay, now that I have all this empty space, I am very particular. I have very strong beliefs. I have a deep sense of morality. Perfectly fine. Find all the problems, take them out of the equation. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? You don't have to now become a martyr. You don't have to carry an entire movement on your back. You don't have to be at the center of everything. Just you within yourself and everybody around you showing up and doing what you got to do and choosing to imagine something different, choosing to try new things, has a effect that reverberates collectively through the entire world. That is my belief, and that is like my ethos and the way I choose to see the world, so I don't go crazy, right? Like I have to believe in something. I'm at a point, because I've made it one more month through my Saturn return, right? I've made it, for now, made it ? But at the end of this road, what I have found is that you need to believe in a little bit of something, right? And like when I was in my early 20s, I believed in art. I'm like, I believe that I will be something. I believed in my capacity to become something. And then through my 20s, the challenge was, now that I've become the idea of that something, I still feel the same, nothing has changed. What's the problem? The problem is that I didn't need to become something. I already am. We already are. So how do we just be? And within just being, you have to adopt a perspective. You have to adopt a vision. You have to adopt a sense of faith, a sense of purpose. And it might not feel right, but for me, it started with gratitude. I think at some point in my mid-20s, especially coinciding with the pandemics, I just started seeing a lot of changes. And I think it's what naturally happens. You start seeing people get married. You start seeing people have kids. You start also seeing your friends pass away. You start seeing people go from being the party to struggling with addiction. You start seeing like the ways in which life can really come down on you all of a sudden, with no warning at times. And I just started to feel a lot of gratitude for existing. And I started to realize that time on this earth is precious, and I have to believe in my own power. If I am so good at criticizing, if I'm so good at sitting down and pointing out everybody's problems, it's because I'm smart. Now I need to figure out the next step. So we all need to collectively figure out the next step. And there's so many ways to do this, right? Like there's people, if you're interested in it in a political sense, there's people organizing. Like within my own personal capacity and what my destiny and what my purpose is on this earth, it's been art. I have not been in this space. I was using my art studio as storage for the past few months, which is sinful. I do not believe that anybody on this earth can harm you with just their mind. I don't believe that anybody can send you bad vibes and you'll lose everything. Like, I'm not like superstitious in that sense, but I am a really strong believer that I was actively cursing myself. I was actively robbing myself of everything that I love and a future by not being grateful for my gift and by not living in accordance to that. That I was actively harming myself, right? So with that as like the realization that I had, that it's like, it's up to me. I thought about everything. I found every problem. I criticized everything. I turned over every stone, but I'm still not acting. I'm still not doing. What's the problem? I'm not feeling motivated. Why? What's the purpose? I have to see beyond myself that me showing up as myself and everybody showing up as themselves means that there will be change in the world. And I do strongly believe that. I think it feels purposeless. I think it feels pointless when you start trying to live your life. But something that I've just been becoming adamant about is putting my phone down. I'm still not really good at it, but putting it down and trying to fill the space with something. And I've noticed, like, for example, I've been needing to create. I cleaned my space. I just have to make some little fun sketches. What's the problem, right? The problem is that I add a bunch of different problems in front of what isn't a problem. Now I'm like, oh, now I gotta do this. Now I gotta do that. Wait, I gotta go clean this. Wait, what's going on? Wait, no, I don't feel good. Wait, what's gonna happen? Like, you are fighting you, right? And it's not even easy. It's normal for you to want to give up and for you to lay down. That is your normal. And to advance and move forward, you have to break that pattern. And once again, breaking these cycles of destruction, of criticism, of regression, of violence, of pain, is you can't do what is normal to you. You can't do what your first instinct is. Our nervous systems were created in the chaos that we're trying to break. So now I need to pull on something to make me do something different. Even when that something different doesn't feel good and doesn't make sense, that's where a belief system comes in. Whether that's a religious, a spiritual, or whether that is just in your general belief through maybe seeing it in other people, through experiencing it maybe at different points in your life. Maybe if you remember being a child and being free or whatever, like, you have to believe that if you stick to it, it's going to happen in one way or another. And what is this thing that's going to happen is that you're going to be able to break out of the cycle of your mind, and you're going to stop becoming this what do people call it, this monitoring spirit in other people's lives, right? Like, you're gonna start monitoring your own spirit. Like, so these are the things that I've been thinking a lot about. Basically re-engaging back with my creative practice as a means to change the course of my destiny. I think I never imagined anything except being this artist and doing these amazing things. But like I said, it happens. You don't the person that you imagine that didn't get to be the person that they were supposed to be, that's maybe upset at life, that maybe isn't the best self that they could be, didn't just become that. And through my 20s is when I really, for the first time, started experiencing why and how you can really be taken off course. And that's why I had to have so much gratitude. And you have to have a lot of humility and believe that you can change. The humility comes from lowering your expectations of yourself. Maybe you were operating at a higher level before. Maybe you were doing better before, when you had bigger dreams, before this messed up thing happened, before you made this mistake, before you took this wrong turn. You have to have the humility now to say, hey, I did something wrong, or something wrong was done to me and was beyond my control. How can I now take control? I don't know what to do. And when I start again, it's not going to feel good and it's not going to look good. But I have to lower my expectations of what life was supposed to be for me at this point, and what life is looking like comparatively to other people's lives. And I just have to accept myself for where I'm at and have this radical love for myself in this current moment, and this belief in my capacity for change. Because this is our duty on this earth, to transform and to leave the earth a better place than we found it. Not just say, that's wrong. Oh, no. I wouldn't do it like that, because if I did it, and then you die, right? Like that was your life. That's wrong. Nah, because and she died. Right? Like, what a life. That's why I'm like, yo, why everybody TMZ right now? Like, why? And you know why? It's because we feel more out of control than ever. There are real systemic issues happening. Like, there are real problems. We are going through an entire recession. I keep watching videos talking about how the docks are empty. I need to start hoarding cans, right? This is scary times. And in the face of an inability to control our immediate environment, what do? We start controlling everybody else. We start controlling everybody else's choices because we feel powerless in our own life. And many of us are, in a sense, powerless in our own life. But that's why, to bring it back to the Bell Hooks quote on the purpose of art, because sometimes it feels like, hey, I should be able to do something more practical. The world's falling apart. What am I supposed to do? Eat my paintings for dinner? I can't. They're not selling, right? You have to believe that there is a greater purpose than this very moment. And you have to believe that everything's gonna work out, ? Like, it's still an active practice for me. But it's like, what's the other option? Like, you can still engage with the reality of the situation and still every day choose to empower yourself and better yourself and want to make a change and be better, because things are always bad. That's something that I've really been having to contend with. No matter what I do, things are always bad. No matter how good and how right I do things, the world is still bad. There's not going to be a day that through my goodness, the world will be better inherently, because bad things will always happen. But I have to believe that the people around me will be better. And through that, we will all collectively be better. I don't know if that was contradictory. And I don't know if I just been yapping. But it's just something that's been on my mind a lot. Because it's just like, like, I really haven't felt motivated. I really haven't felt any drive to create. And all I do is sit down and consume. And all I do is sit down and judge. And I cannot be a hater. This cannot, I can't go from being loving the way my mentality was just a few years ago. And then in the grand finale of my 30s, guess what? The cliffhanger, this B became a hater? 20-year-old me would never be able to believe it, right? And if you in the middle of, and there's nothing wrong with making a little, laughing a little with the girls, whatever. No one's gonna come end your life because of that. You can have a little fun, it's fine. But just really, truly believing, absorbing this pessimistic perspective of life. Once again, life's what you make it. You gotta make it rock. Truer words have never been spoken. And the way you make it rock is by doing something different every day. And you don't have to move mountains. But you can move up out the bed. You can stop moving that finger and move yourself to a museum and take in some art and think about, damn, people really since the beginning of time have been creating through tragedy, world wars, famines, crusades. People have really, been damn, I gotta talk about this. Mass tragedy, the human condition, suffering, endless cycles of suffering. How do I exist? How do I move forward? If you have the answer to that, please comment below. But for me, it's really believing that every single day is what I make it. And that means I have to eat, walk outside, get some sunlight. Oh my God, take a shower, eat again, wash clothes, work, think, create, imagine, take this hand, make little scribbles. For what? Got a drawing. Who cares? Not in a show. Not a group show or in sight. Residency applications denied. Why am I doing this? Gotta believe in something. And I believe in myself. Because at the end of the day, who else am I gonna believe in? Right? What, I'm gonna believe that evil wins every time and I'm just gonna lay down? Can't. Because if you can't even do it for you, do it for whatever you're bringing into this earth. If you're thinking about making children or if you're thinking about younger you gotta really do it for something. Because what else is the point? This really can't be all there is, right? That's been the number one question on this earth. That's why people create art. That's why people create music. That's why people create religion. They are all these highly, just intensely emotional, deep, just metaphysical, hyper-connected experiences that we all have to make sense of deep grief and trauma. How do you make sense of deep grief and trauma before the light bulb exists, right? Before anything. You're all sitting around a fire. Someone just died senselessly. What do you do, right? This tragedy, this grief has existed within us since the beginning of time. It's been passed down through every single person that has lived through you and landed you in this very moment. What do you do with this weight? What do you do with the human condition? I just feel like she's wearing the wrong shoes with that outfit, and I'm just really tired of the fact that she's so obsessed with, you have to really, you really have to become focused. The battle is your focus. They want you to not pay attention. There's so much deep grief and suffering. They want you to subdue yourself, to replace all human emotion with these fictive simulated feelings. And it feels good because it's what you can control. As a person that actively consumes the same content over and over again, I listen to the same music, I watch the same shows very often. It's because I'm trying to, I feel so not safe in everyday life and in my own body, that I consume things where I know I know what emotional journey I'm going to be taken on, right? So that's something I know within myself. It's a protective mechanism. So when we go and we scroll, it's this little habit that we have. When we go and we criticize, we get that little satisfaction that we did something right, but we don't have to deal with the new reality that things have changed. But you have to welcome change, or else things stay the same. You have to have a vision for what life you want and work towards it every day. Being the thing that you want to be, it doesn't just randomly happen one day when you're ready. You create that for yourself through your actions. So if I want to be an artist, I am an artist not because I have this show and all this work up and I am identified by my peers and everybody else as an artist. It's because every single day, in one way or another, I am not only creating something, but I am looking at life through a certain perspective, even when I don't want to. And a lot of the time, most people don't want to, right? You will go through phases where you don't want to. So becoming what you want to be in a time that's as scary as ever, and there's so many rapid changes, and the only thing that we can control is what other people are doing and saying and how we feel about it, right? You have to, not with control, but cautiously and take your time with it. No one's telling you to rush. But you have to challenge yourself and change your environment. You have to change. I just painted this whole studio, like, just so I can change my environment. So I could stop complaining about the same thing and then laying down and doing the same thing every day, right? So we're all on this journey together. I really believe that everything's going to work out, but that's just because, like, it's not even that I'm an optimist. I'm just so, like that hater in me turns into hating on everything else, or like turns into like spite. And I'm like, I'm going to just win just to do it, just to say I did it, right? Like, I'm going to use that to fuel me, just for the love of the art and just to show that I was able to do it, even though they doubted me. Who's they? I don't know at this point. It's me, even though I doubted me, right? But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video, period. I hope you liked it. I hope it made you feel something. I hope it made sense. And let me know your thoughts. On to the next one. Bye. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Like, what? I've been working 8 hours on one little tiny watercolor sketch. It's terrible, but we're getting back to it. Watch what's gonna happen. Watch what's gonna happen. This time next year, I'll be looking so good. Whatever SZA said this time next year, not even gonna recognize myself in a good way, because I'll be saying that, and then this time next year it'll be me with a shaved head, like, ah! But this time next year. All right, bye, y'all. Take care. And thanks for watching. On to the next one.